The holding pens of Station Krell 9 stank of despair and unwashed bodies. Captain Jonas Wright moved through the narrow corridors, with disgust twisting his features. The slavers here operated in a legal gray zone, exploiting loopholes in coalition law that allowed debt bondage and indentured service to flourish in the outer systems. He was here on business, though it turned his stomach. His mining operation on Talos 4 needed workers desperate enough to sign 5-year contracts in exchange for passage off their dying worlds. It was exploitation dressed in paperwork, but Jonas told himself it was better than the alternative these people faced. "This way, Captain," the slaver, a reptilian Voss named Grell, gestured with a clawed hand. "I have several strong specimens from the Andari cluster. Good workers, minimal rebellion issues." Jonas followed, his jaw tight. The pens were cramped metal cages, each holding multiple beings from a dozen different species. Eyes watched him as he passed, some pleading, some dead with resignation, others burning with hatred. They stopped at a larger pen. Grell keyed open the viewing window. Premium stock here. The Lyrian twins. Young, healthy, already trained in basic station operations. Jonas looked through the reinforced glass. 2 figures sat in the corner of the cell. They were humanoid, with the distinctive features of the Lyrian species. Pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer faintly in the dim light. Large dark eyes and delicate features that humans often found disturbingly beautiful. Both wore the gray rags that marked them as merchandise. But something was wrong with the picture. One of the girls sat with perfect posture, her expression serene and confident. The other was curled into herself, her body language screaming trauma. Even from here, Jonas could see the bruises modeling her arms, the way she flinched when her sister moved. "The tall one is Nira," Grell continued. "Natural leader. The smaller one is Kess. They come as a pair. I can offer you both for—" "No." The word came sharp and sudden from inside the cell. Jonas blinked in surprise. The smaller one, Kess, had uncurled herself and was moving toward the glass. Her sister reached out to stop her, but Kess jerked away from the touch with visible fear. Kess pressed her hands against the glass. Her dark eyes locked onto Jonas with desperate intensity. "Please," she said in heavily accented standard, "sell me to the human. Just me, not her." Grell's tail lashed in irritation. "Merchandise does not speak unless— How much for just the small one?" Jonas interrupted, unable to look away from those pleading eyes. The slaver hesitated. "They are bonded siblings. Station law requires— How much?" Grell named a price. It was reasonable, suspiciously so. Jonas had learned to recognize when something was wrong with merchandise. Damaged goods always came cheap, but the desperation in the girl's eyes made him nod. Done. Just her. The sister, Nira, stood smoothly. Her voice was melodious, pleasant. "Captain, you misunderstand. My sister is unwell. She requires care that only family can provide. If you purchase her contract, you must take mine as well." I insist. There it was. The wrongness crystallized into clarity. The beautiful voice, the reasonable words, but Kess's reaction was pure terror. She was backing away from her sister, shaking her head violently. "No," Kess whispered. "Please, no. Not with her. Anything but that." Jonas had seen many things in his years on the frontier. He had watched pirates space prisoners without trial. He had seen company men work employees to death in the mines. He had become numb to much of the galaxy's casual cruelty. But something about this moment cut through his armor. "Just the young one," he said firmly. "Process the paperwork." Nira's pleasant expression never changed, but something cold flashed in her eyes. "You are making a mistake, human. Kess is unstable, prone to delusions. She tells lies about me because she is jealous of my beauty, my talents. You will regret this purchase. I'll take my chances." The transaction took an hour. Jonas signed documents, transferred credits, and endured Grell's attempts to upsell him on additional merchandise. Through it all, he was aware of Kess waiting in a processing room, probably terrified that the deal would fall through. When they finally brought her to him, she was wearing a standard indentured worker's jumpsuit and carrying nothing else. Everything she owned fit in her pockets, which was to say she owned nothing at all. She kept her eyes downcast as the slaver removed her restraints and transferred her, tracking chip registration to Jonas's company account. "She is yours for 5 standard years," Grell said. "After that, her debt is cleared and she may go free or renew her contract. Standard coalition law applies. Do not damage the merchandise beyond reasonable work injury, or you forfeit your investment." Jonas nodded curtly. He gestured to Kess. "Come on. My ship is docked in Bay 12. She followed him silently through the station. Jonas was aware of her limping slightly, favoring her left leg. More evidence of mistreatment. He felt anger building in his chest, but he forced it down. Anger was useless now. They reached the docking bay, where his ship, the Aurora's Hope, waited. It was a medium-sized cargo hauler, battered but reliable. Home for the past 8 years. Inside, Jonas led her to the crew quarters. "You'll bunk here. It's small but private. Door locks from the inside." He paused, watching her reaction carefully. "You understand? From the inside. No one can get in unless you open it." Kess looked at the door, then at him. Tears began sliding down her blue cheeks. "Why?" she whispered. "Why did you separate us?" Jonas leaned against the corridor wall. "You want me to go back? Get your sister? No." The word exploded from her with such force that she staggered. "No, please, no. I do not understand. Why would a human help me?" That was a good question. Jonas had asked himself the same thing while signing the paperwork. He could have walked away. Should have walked away. He had enough problems without adding someone else's trauma to his plate. "Seemed like the right thing to do," he said finally. Kess sank down to sit on the bunk. Her hands were shaking. "You do not know what she did. What she has been doing since we were children. Our parents sold us together because Nira convinced them I was the troubled one, that I needed her guidance." Her voice broke. "For 3 years, I have been in that cell with her. 3 years of—" She trailed off, unable to continue. Jonas felt his jaw tighten again. He had suspected abuse. The signs were clear enough, but hearing it confirmed made it real in a way that observation never could. "You're safe now," he said quietly. "Whatever happened before, it's done. On this ship, you work for your contract and nothing more. No one touches you. No one hurts you. Understood?" She looked up at him with those large dark eyes, searching his face for deception. "Humans are known for keeping their word," she said slowly. "The stories say your species values honor above profit. I thought they were myths." Jonas snorted. "Plenty of humans will gut you for a credit chip. But yeah, some of us still believe in doing right by people." He pushed off the wall. "Get some rest. We lift off in 6 hours. Tomorrow, I'll show you your duties. It's mostly maintenance work, systems monitoring, nothing too complicated." He turned to leave, but her voice stopped him. "Captain Jonas?" "Yeah? Thank you. I know I am just property to you now. Just a contract worker. But thank you for not letting her come with me. Thank you for—" Her voice broke again. "Thank you for seeing that I needed help." Jonas felt something twist in his chest. Property. She thought she was just property to him. Maybe legally she was for the next 5 years. But he had not bought her to use her. He had bought her to save her, though he was not sure he could articulate why, even to himself. "Get some rest, Kes," he said again, softer this time. "Tomorrow's a new start." He left her there and made his way to the bridge. Through the viewport, he could see Station Krell 9 in all its ugly glory. Somewhere in there, Nira was probably furious at losing her victim. Somewhere in there, hundreds more beings were trapped in cages, waiting for someone to buy their contracts. Jonas could not save them all. He could barely save one. But maybe that was enough. Maybe one life pulled from darkness was enough to justify his place in this cold universe. He began the pre-flight sequence, his hands moving through familiar routines. Behind him, somewhere in the crew quarters, a traumatized girl was learning what it meant to have a door that locked from the inside. It was such a small thing, such a tiny gesture of autonomy and safety. But sometimes the smallest things made all the difference. The Aurora's Hope lifted off 6 hours later, leaving Station Krell 9 behind. In the crew quarters, Kes slept peacefully for the first time in 3 years. Her door locked, her future uncertain, but finally her own. And on the bridge, Captain Jonas Wright plotted a course for Talos 4, wondering what he had gotten himself into, but not regretting it for a single moment.